Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Health Minister says government is putting measures in place to curb the shortage of healthcare personnel in the country. Public Administration Minister and Arts and Multiculturalism Minister both enforce the view that changing the future for the next generation begins now. And the Minister of Community Development says as a nation we need to engender a culture of respect for our elderly. Thank you for joining us. Health Minister Dr. The Honorable Fuad Khan says government is putting measures in place to curb the shortage of healthcare personnel in Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking at an appreciation ceremony for the Student Volunteer Program, Dr. Khan revealed that scholarships and other allowances will be granted to students in the field of medicine and healthcare.
29 individuals formed the first cohort of the Student Volunteer Program under the Ministry of Health. The initiative is expected to build on the information sessions at various career fairs by providing students and young persons with hands-on experience in the health sector. Volunteers completed 40 hours of volunteer service from July 30th to August 13th at health facilities such as the Wendy Fitzwilliams Pediatric Hospital and St. James Medical Complex, among others. The program was deemed a remarkable success by the Minister of Health, who says the initiative will help to curb the shortage of healthcare professionals in the country. He adds that government plans to offer study allowances and scholarships as it seeks to expose as many students as possible to careers in the local health sector.
At the Ministry of Health, we believe that the Student Volunteer Program is a key to developing the nation building and the nation budding healthcare professionals. There is, as you all know, a shortage of healthcare professionals in the world today, and Trinidad and Tobago is no exception, and we have not been spared that shortage. Hence, your ministry, this Ministry of Health is now your ministry, has intensified its efforts to provide training for the increased number of healthcare, both allied and medical healthcare professionals through this program of offering scholarships and bursaries. We'll be advertising locally and abroad to attract foreign-based nationals. During the period 2004 to 10, there were 3,289 healthcare professionals, comprising 933 doctors. I asked myself, where are they? Where have they gone? They have migrated. So we do need a number of healthcare professionals to fill that gap. The Student Volunteer Program, which forms part of this overall career promotion within the healthcare system and the secondary school system, is designed to create awareness of the wide range of careers available in the healthcare industry. Some people, when they consider a healthcare career, they think about doctors and nurses, but there are a lot of other ancillary healthcare programs that you can participate in. This program here today is meant to expose each and every one of you to a plethora of careers, and they are all available in the local health sector. In addition to being exposed to various career options available in the health sector, the Student Volunteer Program contributes to the personal development of the participants. The Student Volunteer Program opens up an exciting network of people that you can interact with. It can build a caring feeling and a caring society of active citizens. It is also a tool for your own personal development, providing many skills and enhancing employability. It also opens up a wide range of new opportunities and also allows you to make very, very close contacts with members of the medical profession, which is so necessary in today's world.
Dr. Khan says there are plans to make the program a continuous one. He's also revealing that a health dictionary will be launched by the ministry and supplied to secondary schools across the country.
Soon, the Ministry of Health will be launching a book, a dictionary of healthcare services. It will tell you about the auxiliary healthcare services such as biomedical engineering, specialties of medicine, speech therapy, epidemiology, occupational med therapy, nutrition and social work and dietetics. It will also provide a guidance for the qualification that you will use to enter this field and the matriculations of all the fields. Every secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago will receive a copy for the library, so it will not be anything like rocket science. You will have information at your fingertips.
Verna Barath, News 4.
As a nation, we need to engender a culture of respect for our elderly. These are the words of the Honorable Winston Gypsy Peters, Minister of Community Development. Minister Peters was at the time addressing graduates of the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program.
Over 200 young people have graduated from Level 2 of the Ministry of Community Development's Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program, GAP. The program aims to equip young adults with the expertise, both through education and practical skills, to take care of the elderly. The 4-month-long training program ended with a graduation ceremony, which took place at the Oasis Terrace Garden in San Fernando. The graduates from 5 centers throughout Trinidad underwent 4 months of training in areas of nutrition, nursing aid skills, and health and life skills. Minister Peters says the skills taught in the program will ensure that this country produces a society which can aptly care for the elderly. He says there are over 150,000 elderly persons in this country, a figure which is set to increase in October.
This program is meant to build your capacity to respond to the need of our country's aging population. According to the Central Statistical Office, there are over 156,000 persons aged 60 years and older in our country. And I want to put the country on notice that come October the 20th this year, you would have one addition to that, and that is me.
The Community Development Minister emphasizes that respect for the elderly is key for the creation of a people-centered society. He reminds persons that that respect can make for stronger Trinidad and Tobago.
I want to urge you to commit yourselves to lifelong learning and remind you that skills are useless if they are not practiced. Please put your skills in geriatric care to good use. As a nation, we need to engender a culture of respect for elderly. Teach your friends and family members what you have learned. Let us truly create a people-centered society. I hope you understand the contribution you can make to providing excellent and caring service to our senior citizens. Remember that your contribution makes for stronger communities and a stronger Trinidad and Tobago.
In the wake of the recent floods in northern Trinidad, Minister Peters is also appealing to persons to learn how to deal with the elderly in instances of natural disasters.
I appeal to you to also equip yourselves with basic knowledge on how to deal with the elderly in instances of natural disasters. We have seen what took place recently in western Trinidad with the floods in Diego Martin, Maraval, and Carenage. Ask yourselves, what would you have done to assist the elderly person who was in some distress as a result of this dilemma?
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
Never leave items like MP3 players, portable DVD players, laptops and briefcases on view inside your vehicle. It is an open invitation for a thief. Don't leave them on show. If you cannot take them with you, place them in the trunk of your car. Remember, crime prevention is everyone's business. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Welcome back. Imagine counting to 99 and beyond on just your 2 hands. The secret is a system devised by local UE lecturer Dr. Noel Kalicharan that utilizes counting with your fingers and the abacus. Now, this was part of a lecture series put on by Tunapuna MP and Foreign Affairs Minister Winston Dukaran, who says it's part of a discourse on exploring new insight.
Day to day, we utilize math from counting our change after shopping to figuring out investments. But while most of us have grown to dislike the subject over the years gone by, one revolutionary thinker, Dr. Noel Kalicharan, says all of this stands to change if the subject mathematics is made to upkeep sustained interest. He was giving a discourse entitled Mathematics, a Revolutionary Way to Do Arithmetic.
I have always wanted to make Trinidad and Tobago a place where everybody can do mathematics. Everybody, at least even elementary arithmetic. And I think with this method, I have found the key to be able to do that. And maybe the critical mass that we are talking about here, will come. It is our firm belief that individuals who understand mathematics will have significantly enhanced opportunities and options for shaping their futures. Hence, it is necessary to make mathematics more accessible to all students.
The program put on by Tunapuna MP and Foreign Affairs Minister Winston Dukaran was one the minister says he hopes will encourage and enhance thirst for knowledge and inquiry.
In the same way that you have found a way to do counting with your hands, I hope you can find a solution to do counting somehow so that political maths can make sense in the future.
It will never make sense.
I want to thank, it will never make sense. But I want to thank you for being here. I know a vote of thanks to be given, but I see a wonderful crowd emerging in these sessions, and I'm very, very pleased to see the growth with which this little discourse is taking place on issues that will generate some thinking.
Through this method of digital math, counting to 99 and beyond on your hands is made simple, even to do calculations in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
This is up to a certain level, but remember my comment earlier is that when you get success, and this is the success breeds success. And once children who couldn't do these things before, like yourself who couldn't do it when we started, you could do it now. So you want to do more, you want to learn more. And I think it is that wanting that children have lost. And that is, if that comes back, we'll see the mathematical level improving quite dramatically.
Dr. Kali Charan is a senior lecturer in mathematics and computer science at the University of the West Indies. Says utilizing digital math, which uses both hands, improves brain function and quick thinking in our minds. It is hoped that this method will soon be implemented through the training of teachers. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
In other news, changing the future for the next generation begins now. Now, this is the change government hopes to establish even as it looks forward 50 years. Seeking to highlight these changes, Public Administration Minister, the Honorable Carolyn Sipasat Bechan, and Arts and Multicultural Minister, Dr. the Honorable Lincoln Douglas, explains the need for such transformations to take place.
As Trinidad and Tobago looks to chart the future ahead of its 50 years since independence, many changes are said to be in the pipeline. Charting this new path aims at leaving a legacy for the next generation. And in doing so, government has outlined several plans focused on achieving this. One of the ministers highlighting some of these plans is Public Administration Minister Carolyn Sipasat Bechan, who says her ministry is one step closer to implementing the transformation of the public service sector, which seeks to carry government services into the new era.
So far, what we have been doing is we've been meeting with all the stakeholders, the Teaching Service Commission, the Public Service Commission, Police Service Commission. This morning we met with the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, the judiciary, because we identified certain pilot projects. And there are certain ministries that are going to start participating in this pilot project in the transformation of the public service in terms of how they implement the new architecture of the public service. I will speak more to it on the budget debate and, as we outline the roadmap for the 2012-2013 period. The first phase of it is finished where we were able to conceptualize the plan and design the roadmap, a high-level roadmap.
An area that is quickly developing into an international one here in Trinidad and Tobago is the arts. For this reason, Arts and Multiculturalism Minister Dr. Lincoln Douglas says keeping arts and culture on the agenda remains on the forefront.
We are working to develop all the various festivals by supporting villages throughout the country that could work on research and development of our various festivals. And we are also working on the development of the various art forms throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So we will continue to provide research and development for the artists and the art forms and the training for the artists. And that is something that we have on the agenda throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister Douglas adds that proposed plans that will encourage proper training of art forms across various communities will soon commence.
The way forward has to be research and development to increase both the artists, the art forms, and the industry that supports the artists. We're hoping that in the next year, with the development of our pan industry, development of various kinds of villages, that we will have an explosion in terms of the research, training, and the development of the artists, the art form, and the industry that go along with all of these.
For this transformation to take place, Minister Sipasad Bechan says embarking on these new changes starts now.
Today, as we celebrate our last 50 years, we have to initiate a new journey for the next 50 years of the life of this country. And therefore, this is why we are saying we're a bit ahead of time in terms of the public service, and that we are developing the diamond, which is what we want to have ready by the 60th anniversary of this country. And therefore, at that gala award function, that's why we were talking about we are ahead of time in looking at the 60th jubilee for the country.
Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
Dads aren't the only ones who beat up on kids. Sometimes kids beat up on kids.
Every child has the right to be protected from violence, abuse, and neglect.
Because I shouldn't be afraid to go to school or play with my friends.
Because no child should be hurt by adults or by other children.
Because safety is my right. Stop the bullying. Unite for children.
With one rescheduled game remaining to complete their first round of matches in the National Super League, Wassa FC seems set to end the round in pole position, while on the other end of the table, Beach United will welcome a break from league competition in order to come up with a solution to get them out of the clear position early in round 2. Wayne Cunningham has a rundown of the scores from the weekend's matches, as well as a look ahead.
Wassa FC stormed to the top of the standings in the Blink B-Mobile National Super League following a hard-fought win in their top-of-the-table clash with Westside Superstars. The teams met in a rescheduled fixture on Sunday, and the Watermen eked out a 1-0 win courtesy a 90th-minute strike from Jahan Hernandez, his second goal in as many matches. The result dropped Westside to third in the standings behind Wassa and another Eastern outfit, Joe Public FC. But the Northerners have a game in hand on Public, who has completed its first round. Also making a significant move on the standings is Tobago's 1976 FC Phoenix. Terry Williams and his men faced the Defence Force at home and came away with a narrow 2-1 win. The Kelshaw Alexander coached Defence Force went ahead 5 minutes into the second half through their captain Marlon Laidlow, but that was cancelled out 3 minutes later by Nigel Thomas. Thomas was on spot again in the 68th minute to seal the deal and send Phoenix up from 8th place to 5th on the standings, as they also completed their first round of 11 matches. The other Tobago team, Stokely Vale, was shocked at home in Plymouth, falling to a 3-0 loss to a hot and cold Club Sando. Mohamed Issa's men took the lead in the 17th minute through Keston London. Neil Meccano made it 2-0 in the 35th, and that's how they went in at the half. Try as they might, Stokely Vale could not find the back of the net, and Jesse Downing made sure that all the points would be going to Sando when he scored in the 70th minute. Despite the loss, the Tobago team stays in 4th spot, while Club Sando jumped out of the relegation zone and into 7th place. It remains tight at the top of the table, with just 2 points separating first from third. But the real battle is on in mid-table, as only goal difference stands between Stokely Vale, Phoenix, and Central outfit Eagles United, who are in 4th, 5th, and 6th places respectively. Wassa looks certain to capture first-round bragging rights as they face second-from-bottom Defence Force for their last game of the round. That match will be on Wednesday at Wassa Ground in St. Joseph, while just further into the valley, Real Maracas will come up against Club Sando at the Maracas Recreation Ground in St. Joseph to complete the first round. The league will take a break as clubs now focus on the knockout competition, which starts on Sunday at venues nationwide. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
Still with sport, national midfielder Denzel Theobald returns to Neil and Massey Caledonia AIA for their all-important CONCACAF Champions League clash with Seattle Sounders. Theobald, who played last season in India, is expected to replace Keon Edwards in midfield. Edwards is forced to miss this game after his booking in the last game. Speaking before his team's training session, Neil and Massey Caledonia's head coach Jamal Shabazz was happy to have Theobald, saying, quote, "It's always a pleasure to work with Denzel. He's so much of a role model and a good example to the team and the youths of Morval Laventille. His work ethic is second to none, and he's already made a positive impact on the squad, especially with the younger players." Shabazz also added that we cannot coach experience, and he brings lots of experience and enthusiasm at a most critical time for us in this campaign, end quote. Caledonia came off a solid performance last week, holding Honduran club CD Marathon to a draw. They will, however, have to go for full points against the group favorite Seattle if the Morval Laventille boys are to keep their chances alive of advancing from the group. The head coach says the challenge is something they must succeed at, not only for themselves, but for Trinidad and Tobago as well. He adds that, quote, "Going into this game, the team wants their will to win to be greater than any fear of losing," end quote. Thursday's game kicks off at 8 p.m. at the Atto Boldon Stadium and will be live on Fox Sports Channel. More news after the break. Stay with us. His Excellency President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor George Maxwell Richards, says there is evidence that religion sometimes creates serious divisions among groups in society. However, he boasts that this is in fact quite the opposite in Trinidad and Tobago. His Excellency was addressing the crowd gathered at the Atto Boldon Stadium in Couva during the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
In Trinidad and Tobago, we have sought to create a path that would lead to genuine respect for freedom of choice in respect of religious belief. It is a right enshrined in our Constitution, which in its preamble states inter alia that, and I quote, "The nation of Trinidad and Tobago is founded upon principles that acknowledge faith in fundamental human rights and freedoms," and asserts further, quote, "The people of Trinidad and Tobago desire that their constitution should make provision for ensuring the protection in Trinidad and Tobago of fundamental human rights and freedoms," end of quote. The crafters of our Constitution.
Professor George Maxwell Richards says expressions of thanksgiving should not be limited to a specific time frame during a scheduled meeting. He says the Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving should in fact serve to boost the already existing union between man and God.
It is my hope that the manifestations of thanksgiving are not confined to the few hours that are spent in this particular location, lest we miss the mark. I am embracing the hope that all over the country there is a consciousness of what is taking place in Couva at this time, and that in homes and in other places people are responding positively to this call to prayer and intercession as well. This should not be so much a religious thing as it should be a matter of drawing on the relationship that should exist between ourselves and our Creator.
The president is also commending the IRO and the various groups which came together to make the event a success. He also quoted scriptures from the Holy Bible with guidelines on the attitude to prayer.
If my people, who are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then, a very critical word, will I hear from heaven. I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land.
Vuna Bharat, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you so much for joining us.